we thought in the pre-match.
So good last weekend, wasn't he, Kerr? It was vintage stuff. Great to see. So he's obviously had a better pre-season. Cochin down low. And then Grigg tackled hard. Revolt trying to get through. Shrugging. Flicks out a hard handball. Comes back to Marriage. He kicked the first. Big odds that, I reckon. Ivan. Revolt half a chance. Glass so strong. Through the core. Gaff. Schofield back to Gaff. And that's a slow kick by Gaff. Pinged off. Chance for Morris inside. Big chance now. Bang Martin. The Tigers have got two. There's an injury behind play. And they lead by 12 points.
And this is where the West Coast Eagles are very good too, Dennis, at being able to get a scoring opportunity.
Natanui locks up with Marriage. Natanui first hand to it. Pritis claimed immediately. Foley tries to dig it out. Hill snaps. I think it's good. Going back. Touched on the line, was it? No, I think it's a goal. Just over the line. Well done by Hill, the opportunist goal. Just roving the pack. He had to go low, couldn't control the ball. Gaff tried to direct it across to Natanui. That was clever. Into the path of Schofield. Diving in there is Morris. Had to feed it out immediately. Gaff is taken down. Opportunity. Low-level work there by Hams. He was looking for the high tackle. He got it. That was almost an arm wrestle to get the arm up over the shoulder. It was a battle of wills.
He's one of the best at it. One of the best at it, and you just got to go lower, unfortunately.
Well, that is what everybody is talking about right now, and full credit to Hams for making it work to his advantage. He got the arm to slide high, and he would not renege and made sure it stayed there so the umpire would see it. Terrific work by the little fella. He's deep in the pocket. Oh. And that's a beautiful kick. All round, very clever. Turns back, goes to the pocket he left. Pritis having another fine season. Kicks it outside the defensive 50. Glass has got it to Smith. They work it through midfield. Smith goes for distance now. Long, Natanui, here's trouble. Simply too tall. Newman did well. Crumlow by Darling goes in and gets the goal, does he? Yes, he does. They're celebrating now.
And the runner might go to Jack's direct opponent too, Glass, because he ran off him then and provided that option for the handball, and they carried the ball to such a deep part of the ground in the West Coast. Yep. Here's the ball that comes in. I mean, that's just not directed to anyone. Cox has positioned himself right where you want your ruckman to be, and then this is the run down the ground, and he got so far down the ground that he's actually able, then Smith was able to kick the ball to that one-on-one target, and then Darling, who's just so smart at being able to turn around and get back to where the ball needs to, or where you need to be at the ball drop. He's such an impressive player, Darling. He's just got such a great footy IQ.
3 goals, 3 inside 50s for those 3 goals.
It behind, picked up by Kerr, tackled by Hooley. Martin did well. Grigg, Martin at his own defensive 50. Short one. Deledio, Newman. Now they're away. Foley.
They got Jackson running, Dennis, and it's a good kick, and he's got him. I mean, Moore's been injured for a long time. I know. Asprey the other. Well, he's a good field kick, Jackson, and that's a good straight kick for goal. Richmond are just a behind.
I'm not suggesting he went high, but it is something that they will look at the end of this game, the match review panel.
That was interesting. Shuey got down low to be high tackled and wasn't in the end. Miller goes back and Martin's kicked the second. So the midfield are getting goals here. Jackson 1 and Martin 2.
Once again, they just stayed in the action and worked really hard. There's Revolt again, just a grubby kick off the ground, and then Martin getting on the end of it. But they're stacking up okay at the moment.
I'd like to get out there, wouldn't it? It'd be so...
You'd rather be 20-20 than 50-50 at the moment.
Very good.
There's Scotty Selwood onto Waters. So good at last week in the rain. Waters with a long one. They know they've got the height advantage. In they go. They didn't need height. It was on the chest. Yeah, and Kennedy was inaccurate last week, wasn't he? He's kicked 4 goals, 8 since round 1. He was very accurate in round 1. He's been missing those, but he's squeezed at home. High-scoring opening quarter. Great call, Dennis. That was just terrific pressure from, well, both teams, but it was Richmond holding the West Coast defence up. Here's Gaff again. And that one might go to Hill. Hill's been lively enough with that goal. Releases a bloke. It's a beautiful kick and Hearn, and he delivers. Kicked 4 goals in his only other match against Richmond, so he likes the Tiger. He's got 1 already today, and he's got 2. That was straight as a gun barrel. To Lynch. Just have to backtrack for a bit to A. Selwood. Adam, actually, I knew which one it was, but I was just, you know what I meant. And now Hill, just for the record then, here's Hill at half forward.
Looks inside the forward 50, probing kick intended for Kennedy, bounces obligingly for Marston. Oh, quick on his feet there was Hams. How about that? Like a spring heel jack, and he gets his second.
Just the small players getting themselves in the right position there. Maston, just quick reflex handball, felt the contact coming straight away, just run away from that spot.
13 points the margin then. Naitanui knocks it down very close to Kerr. As a result, Kerr was flat-footed. Ellis did nicely. Grigg in trouble. The pressure from the Eagles. Excellent. Hill gets it out to Selwood, rather, who kicks inside the forward 50, and the mark is taken by Lynch.
Getting on the end of that and then kicking it long to the space.
So Lynch directly in front, 35 metres out, kicks truly. Tigers in trouble.
I reckon they're more tempted this afternoon, the West Coast Eagles, to go long and quickly direct into that forward line just to put them under some extra pressure.
Good stuff by Marich there. Grigg got it from Deledio, and then they go long. The Tigers to fall forward. Miller couldn't quite. Nahas in a good position. Clever hands. Jackson. Here's the goal. Vickery. Good response. They needed it, and they got it. Tell us good years they had. Rance. Here's Vickery. He can go on now. Lingy talking about the fact that at least he's up and about a bit. And he's measured it. Marich, who I think has been pretty good so far. Koch is a lovely long kick. Have a look at this one. That's a beautiful thing. Goes to about 10 metres. Lynch wants a free kick. Good strength by Rance there. He held his ground. Newman's playing a good game. To Hurley, they are on. He's a good kick early. Does he get it far enough and quickly enough? And Nahas and Gaff over the top. Deledio, does he take Schofield on? He does, sort of, with a bounce. He's a lovely long kick to Deledio. Miller sets himself.
Gets a free kick. Be quiet, Miller. Just 2 disposals.
A lot of concern there for Kennedy.
Boys, quickly on Kennedy. His left ankle, he went over on it. He's just getting checked out by the docs. I'll give you a report as soon as I get one.
And that was a just extra carry then from Deledio. He just held onto the ball a bit long. There's the ankle injury there to Kennedy.
Remember, he had a terrible pre-season too.
Yeah.
I mean, not that he had a foot problem pre-season. He didn't do the pre-season, and he's done a great job actually to get up and running so quickly. 7 goals in his first match this season. Now Miller, he's normally a good kick for goal. He's got it, and the Tigers, who were 19 points behind a short time ago, draw level.
To the midfield. West Coast might run out of legs later on in the game.
Brilliantly rowed by Shuey. Drives it inside the forward 50. Cox claims he was held. Good use of the body by Darling. That's such an easy goal.
That was so physical in the rain, wasn't it?
It was. It was a really tough, hard, physical, intense game.
Gee, what a difference when Naitanui in the centre at the moment. He is just giving his midfield a beautiful ride and gave it to Prittis. Hams has been up now. Can Lynch get enough on it? He doesn't quite get the momentum to fall forward. And well, he's a natural lefty. He's worked hard on that. So from point blank range, suddenly this very good team dash away again to a 2-goal lead.
Goes after the football. Took Deledio's legs, and that's hurt Deledio. Players going down like 9 pins at the moment. Here's Kerr. His kick was touched off the boot. It wanders out towards right half forward. Strong tackle by Lynch. Rosa did well. Worked the ball to Hearn. Hearn a half volley. Darling has booted 3 goals. Goes to Marston. Marston snaps. And that's a goal. His first.
Oh, look at that.
Deledio coming off. end of 2010, John Worsfold was flirting with unemployment, wasn't it? I mean, there's no sign at the CES says ahead of his time. Well, that'd be an interesting line to be in. Here's Gaff. You meet some interesting people. There goes the kick from Gaff down towards the pocket, and the mark is taken by the man you were talking about, Tim Hill.
Very kind man, Tim. I reckon he was having a shot and shanked that one.
Well, he doesn't shank this one. Puts it through. He's got his second. Hearn to bring it in.
Gee, that's a massive miss, isn't it?
Yep.
So Batchelor, good mark. He's done that a few times. Took the chance. Inside, Foley protected the footy well there. Tigers, well, they need this late one, don't they? They just need to get within 3. They've played okay. Oh, he's done it!
Go through, mate, go through. That's got to be great for his confidence.
Oh.
That's what he does best, though, doesn't he, Jack Revol?
The unexpected.
He does.
Well, you saw
but you've got to be unafraid to kick the ball into his area, though.
You saw him pre-match kick some good goals, and then you pointed it out to Lingy and I, and he kicked the ball out of bounds on the full, didn't he? So
he was on the other side, though, too. Right leg in.
Well, he's missed a sitter, but he's just taken a screamer, and he's just the sort of bloke to dob this. This would be some play if he can kick the goal after the mark. It's a chance. It's a really good chance. That's a 10 out of 10.
Oh. You know, that reaction tells me there's 5 weeks of frustration that actually came out with that mark and that kick. This is the mark again, just 1, 2, launches himself on Beau Waters' shoulders there. Glass coming back with the fly of the ball. I mean, Jack Revol is a pack mark. That's what he does best. That is his bread and butter as an AFL player.
Liggy, did you get a good view from down there, mate?
I certainly did. I wish I could get off the ground like that. Timmy's right. Good for his confidence. Just to run and launch at the footy, go back and kick the goal. That's got to help. Hopefully he lifts now in this second half. Kennedy's the worry down here, boys. He's still in the rooms getting checked out with his right ankle. He could be doubtful to come back on the ground, and that'll leave them 1 short with this.
71 to 52. Marston to no one in particular. Jackson, that was ambitious, trying to crash his way through. Martin has been a very good player at close quarters to tuck. There's time for a goal either way. Oh, and Miller takes a very good mark. Meanwhile, back in the centre, Jackson involved again. Scott Selwood to his feet now. Meanwhile, you can hear the umpire threatening. Meanwhile, Miller, oblivious to all of that, is lining up at his second goal, and if he gets this, well, it's back in the balance again. More courage from the Tigers, who are getting burnt off. Revolt did what he did, and Miller with a chance to follow up. Needs a straight kick, and he provides it. The former Demon, the Queenslander, right through. He's got 2 goals, 31 seconds out from half-time. The 2 Eagles, one of them Prittis, didn't see who the other one was, just really didn't make a move at the ball carrier there. Cochin finds the footy almost. Kerr lost it to Cochin, spills across towards Vickery, kicked it about 5 metres, gets it again in the square. Jackson got boot to ball and kicks it. That's a hard working man's goal. He's got 2.
I reckon they've kicked 4, maybe 5 untidy goals like this afternoon in Richmond. And it's great play because they've kept involved in the play. They've kept numbers coming to the ball. And eventually they've just found themselves enough space. I mean, it's game on.
To a half right, sort of.
Well, Lingy working with the guichet. So Grigg, Deledio, Tim talked about his run and carry and how important it is. That was held on. That was a good mark. Gee, hasn't Cochin come out brilliantly after half-time? It sits for Grigg. He's got an option or 2. Goes out wide.
To Prittis at the stoppages, bigger body, stronger.
Well, this young boy hasn't kicked a goal in league footy. He has now. The Tigers have kicked the last 4. Have a look at this reaction for the players. Gee, Dennis, well, massive. I mean, just before half-time, it looked like the Eagles might lead by 5, didn't it?
Yeah, because they've taken so much time. Richmond have been able to push back in numbers.
Yep.
Well, he was determined to kick it to Butler. Butler, one bounce, ambles to the wing. Now he goes out very wide. Still a loose man. That's Selwood, Scott Selwood. He moves with more urgency, sends it down towards full forward, and the mark is taken by Lynch. Well,
Giving Lynch a clear passage to the ball.
So Quinton Lynch kicks, and that ball goes away, but it's good. Selwood. They combine, the brothers Selwood. Butler's got it now. Kicks it to the opposite pocket where the mark is taken by Cox. Takes a risk. Goes back inside. Prittis gives it wider to Waters. Waters kicks it down towards the wing. Rance. Oh, what a good grab. As Bruce mentioned, his dad, captain of the West Coast Eagles. Fine defender in his own right. And now Rance, an emerging star. Gives it the short treatment. Found Deledio, and that's a beautiful kick into the path of a leading Vickery. Deledio with 17 possessions, 6 of them in this term. And Vickery with a couple of goals. They came quickly. In fact, one. He had a chance at 2 and missed out to the right. This one's not missing. That's a lovely kick. He's got 2 now. Pays to be a clairvoyant.
West Coast lead by 2, 83 to 81. It's at Richmond's end. Marriage just lays it down. Prittis. Gee, there's been some good players out there today. Jackson for both teams. Jackson, neat handball. Now Nahas couldn't be pinged there because Adam Selwood's onto him straight away. That ball's still in dispute. Revolt can't break Schofield. Can't break Schofield, and he slings him down. And it's a free kick.
Is that really the sling tackle, though, that we're talking about? I'm not sure that it is. I mean, he's holding on to the ball. He's holding on to the ball. Honestly, I don't think that's a sling tackle.
Well, it could have been prevented with an earlier whistle, couldn't it?
Of course it could. I mean, if you're going to let the play run on that long, that's what's going to happen.
Have not been in front, Richmond, since the 20-minute mark of the opening quarter. They will if Revolt kicks straight. He does. They're in front, the Tigers. Listen to them roar now.
Jackson over the top, Koch into half forward, and momentum suddenly, once again, is wearing black and gold. Long kick from White to the pocket, reaching up one-handed was Miller, lurking behind. The goal is kicked by Martin. Or was it touched?
Gee.
That looked a goal, certainly from our vantage point. But the goal umpire had no hesitation. Now,
hang on.
No, I think it's just a delay because another footy came onto the ground. Now,
was that Martin or Deledio that actually kicked that? No, it's Martin.
Yep.
And I think the goal umpire's got it right. It looked a goal. We had an optical illusion, I think.
Vickery, free kick.
It's in the back, Revolt. Darren against Stu. Hands in the back.
Now Jack can go all the way here. He can go all the way. He's not. Well, he's going to go. That's. Oh, gee whiz.
He was in 2 minds and he chose the wrong one.
You've got to be better than that, though. Out wide to Schofield. That's when you get honourable losses, when you make those mistakes.
That's right.
Shuey gives it to Gaff.
That's exactly what they did last week too against Geelong.
Now Darling has a bounce, runs it down towards half forward, spots a vacant goal square, in from the side. Hill! Almost the mark, dragged down by the arm. And Hill will get a free kick. It wasn't a bad kick coming in. Again, it made life hard for the defender. Virtually set the ball on Rance's head.
He might have been watching Friday night, Jack.
Well, Martin actually got clear. I don't think Revolt could believe he had so much space, Martin, when he looked up and then completely botched the kick. Meanwhile, at the other end, Hill kicks his third. Point the difference.
They might have paid a free kick against him. Kerr's had 26 now. 16 of those have been contested.
So Cox wins the tap brilliantly to Marston. High ball to be play on, obviously. Build it away. Darling looking for the right bounce. That ball sort of thrown out almost, and then brought down Prittis. Clever hands to Marston. Oh, that was brilliant. In a shoebox.
And And he's the man they say doesn't hurt you, Prentice. Let him have as many as he likes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that was terrific. Only a really fine player can do that. Chaos all around him. What's the old thing, Rudyard Kipling? If you can keep your head tipped.
Yeah, young man.
That was just terrific. That's what Prentice did. Just fed it out there, and a goal resulted. So it's out to 7 points. The challenge squarely with the Tigers again.
Just great contested footy, isn't it? Richmond unable to get free. Just watch that. Bang. Sees Maston on the outside. And the handball puts him in.
Drama to thrill this match.
Yes. That's a fair move from our point of view. We don't do that without a lot of thought, do we?
Marriage wins the tap to Grigg, and then Grigg off a step, gets a bit of distance. Miller, he's got to get a free kick. Well, the old cameo's becoming a main star.
Isn't it?
And that's what happens when you find yourself
You all the way.
at that part of the ground one-on-one.
You instigated the hold on the arm.
Good explanation by the umpire.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't been great from the set shots today. Miller missed one himself, but he's kicked 2. This would be a massive return. He has kicked 3 against the Eagles last season, actually. He needs this. The Tigers must get it. Cheers, a good return from a bitsy player. Well done, Miller, again. We know there's one unbeaten team at the end of this round. That's Sydney. We're not sure whether it'll be West Coast.
This is where they're dangerous, particularly Natanui.
And Cox to help out, Tim. Marriage, and speaking of Natanui, great smother coming though. I think it was Foley. Prentice works his way through. Does it again, Prentice. Selwood goal.
He's been good, Prentice, hasn't he? I mean, Tuck's trying to slow him down. Selwood just finding himself in the right position, but that's where their mark was good.
Yep.
I reckon they've got to have the confidence, just go long and deep to Jack, just in his territory in this last quarter, the Tigers.
So Hearn keeps it low and long. Cotchin, well done. Great stretch. Cotchin quickly on. That's a lovely kick. Now, Leo Martin. It's been brilliant, hasn't it?
Been outstanding.
Looks good. Going long. And just hooking at the last moment. This kick in again critical, isn't it?
Well, it's about cool heads now for both sides. And we saw Lynch turn the ball over before.
Across to Marston. Back to Rosa. Rance is the deepest man. Rosa has a bounce. He has to kick it now. Across comes Rance. Always his ball. They can build from the back. Something onto the outer side. Grigg's got it. We're down to a minute 25. Grigg lays it back. It's taken by Hooley. Hooley through midfield under pressure. High ball. In front out there was White. Knocked away by Smith. Down goes Morris.
Well done by Morris. Sweeping handball by Deledio. White's got a lot of pace. He's got men loose. White's going to go long to full forward. Where's Revolt? There he is. Not quite. The ball comes to Glass. Quick kick away to half back. Waters. Oh! He's never done that before in his life.
Gave it a good time then, Bruce. What a mark. These are tired men, and he launched himself. On the other side, Shuey, and we're down to 42 seconds. Will it be 50? No. Now Richmond have got to get this football back. Eagles just need to run down the clock. Shuey, nicely weighted kick. Lynch has got it, and I think he knows it's gone. The Eagles would have to make a bad mistake now to lose this game. They don't know that, but they know it's close. There goes the kick down towards the pocket. Rance from behind, knocks it in front.
Ball in dispute. Marston's been really good. Hook back. Well, the hole now. Is it Darling? I'm not sure.
Ask Tim.
Yeah, Tim, it is Darling. It has to be. He's kicked 4, and the Eagles are undefeated after 5 rounds. Well, this was a spectacular grab on a day where we've had a highlights reel to die for.
How do you get up that high this late in the game?
How do you get up that high?
And then Damien Hardwick, who conceded there, knew that it was done.
had their chances when they went forward that last time, though. They had their numbers. They just weren't smart enough with the ball. But that is a great snap there from Darling over the shoulder.
So, Dennis, 10 points to the reigning Premier last week, 10 points to the lead of the competition this week. That's the Tigers.
Dare we say it, honourable losses. Well, sometimes teams are just a bit better than you. The Tigers have fought so hard this afternoon. But there's the siren. And that hurts. There's the captain showing the pain. There's the coach in pain as well. What an inspiring game it was this afternoon. One of the best we've seen for a long time. Maybe the skills not as high as in other games, but gee, it was combative. It was tough. And the West Coast Eagles have prevailed. Here's ruck work at times. Simply brilliant. Marriage battled hard. Revolt kicked a couple. Missed an important one late. And the Tigers, this could have been the making of the Tigers if they could have won. That's not to say they're out of it, but gee, what a win it would have been. Let's go down to Cameron Ling with a man who absolutely starred.
He did absolutely star, Dennis. He's a bit spent here, but really hard contested game. And yourself, mate, incredible. Good to get the win.
Yeah, it was fantastic to get the win. We always knew after last week, Richmond taking Geelong right to the end, we knew that they were going to come and give a good fight, and we were just happy to weather the storm.
Was it a harder game run through the midfield because of the lack of rotations that you had with Brown going off early and then obviously Kennedy being sore?
Yeah, you really do notice if you lose your sub early, the extra rotation that you miss in the midfield, and I definitely felt it late in the last quarter.
Well done today, mate. Great stuff.
Thanks, Lingy.
Thanks, Kevin.
28 possessions for Daniel Kerr. And that doesn't measure exactly what he was doing when the game was on the line. A couple of those sputters. Let's go back now to Cameron Ling with Matthew Prittis.
Matty, good hard win. Yourself, a couple of quick handballs up in the goal square there. Set up some great goals. You must have been wrapped with your own game.
Tigers play a great contested brand of footy, and that was where the game was won in the end. And we're just lucky to kick a couple of late goals. And Josh is a bit sore, so it's great for us to get over the line.
I asked Curry about that with the early substitution and Josh being sore. Did you notice the impact through the midfield with your rotations?
A little bit, but you know, it was a really grinding win for the boys, so it's very encouraging for us to have another win away and against good opposition.
And also, yeah, nice to get that win over here in Melbourne.
Absolutely, mate. We're taking all the time.
Good work, Matty. Well done, mate. Thanks, mate.
Well, the Tigers, no doubt, getting better. But again today, they fall short. The West Coast Eagles, led by Prittis and Kerr, and young Gaff as well. Winners on a Sunday afternoon at Etihad Stadium. 16-11-107 to 14-13-97. 10 points, but it was closer than that.